How do you design inclusive and accessible digital products when your audience is everyone? Today, my guest is Hanna Kops, who is the head of experience at Transport for London Digital and also visiting lecturer at Royal College of Art. Hanna leads the team that designs travel tools for one of the largest transport systems that includes the oldest underground system in the world. Transport for London also has a long history of design thinking and artist collaboration. The iconic London Tube map influenced all other underground maps in the world. Today, Hanna will share how inclusive approach shared the digital process at TfL Digital, also giving access to the right travel information to people on a full spectrum of physical ability, also how TfL Digital engaged with marginalized communities to create an app that everyone could access, and finally, what could commercial organizations learn from TfL's inclusive design practices? Hi, Hanna. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm very excited to talk to you about the TfL Go app that you and your team created, which is one of the first mainstream apps that brings accessibility features to the forefront and was also designed with inclusion by default approach. First, I would love to learn a little bit about you and your role at TfL Digital.
Hi, Irina. Thanks for having me today. I'm the head of experience at Transport for London. So I look after the digital design team, which looks after the experience strategy overall for the digital service and is designing all our digital products from TfL Go to digital screens and stations, and also maintaining the website and looking at the future of all our products.
And could you tell me more about the digital strategy at Transport for London?
We have had a website for a long time and it's working very well for most of our customers. We have social channels, obviously, and we have digital screens across our network and at bus stops and in stations and so forth. And it's quite a large estate of digital touchpoints. And the strategy is really to create a very well integrated digital service overall, where touchpoints start to complement each other and assist customers on the way. So TfL Go is the flagship product within that strategy, and we're looking at the entire service next.
Fantastic. And it sounds like it could be quite a complex project to bring all these different mediums together. How do you bring this inclusive by default approach into this really large, complex system?
So one of the core parts of the strategy is to make sure that the digital service is also fully inclusive, and that has two components to it. One is that we introduced a new design language, which is global and which will be applied to not only TfL Go, where we introduced it, but also all other new products and channels. The other part of the strategy is to make sure we develop features that make traveling easier for people and increase confidence and spontaneity. So one of the core challenges that our customers have is that they often do feel disabled because they simply can't make those spontaneous decisions and can't necessarily travel confidently because things might happen on the way, like a lift might get out of service or a station might be closed. And for them, it's a lot more difficult than to change a route, for instance, or to know exactly what to do and so on. So developing features that make it much easier to pre-plan, to familiarize yourself with stations and the network, but also to understand sort of when things are not working as soon as they are not working, and having that in your pocket in an app is a huge advantage, and hopefully it will make travel a lot easier in the future. Mm-hmm. We know that there are quite a few barriers around it because most products are still struggling with accessibility. It is not an easy task to convince people to trust new products with their journeys. So part of this will also be just about, really focusing on quality, not just publishing new data, not just publishing new information, but making sure that Go Live with are working really well, are designed with high quality so that we build trust over time. And so TfL Go, for instance, right now, so just on that topic, like I said, it introduces the new design language, but it also has some very key features that we worked on very hard and focused on over the last years. One is that it has a live step-free map, which has much more detailed information that you can't really get otherwise easily. For example, stations that are just step-free into one direction, or stations that are just step-free for interchanges. All of that is easily visible on the map. You can easily switch between a standard and a step-free map. It's just at a tap. We have live lift status integrated, so you can see when stations are not accessible. At the moment, we included quite detailed information about how to board a train. All of that is in the app. And part of the strategy to have it in this app as a flagship app rather than a special app or a different app. And that is quite important to our entire approach, that we wanted it to, in order for the quality to be maintained and for it to be up to date and to be core and center of everything that we do, we wanted it to be part of the product, the development process, to make sure that any features that are developed are always sort of thought of in terms of inclusion.